Hi guys. Last time I had a look at cascading strategies. So if you haven't had a look at that, check it out. Today I'm going to move on to config proxy factories. It's a pretty cool feature in archaius2. We're just going to go over that now. What I've done, I've got rid of all the class path properties, and I've just set it to pull the external properties in home, sleep, and Netflix config.properties, and in there just feature flag, feature description that it's going to pull. And what I want to do is create an interface that archaius can implement a proxy for us, and that interface is going to tell us exactly what config we need. So let's just create an interface now called proxy config. Okay, and in it I'm going to have a public boolean get feature flag and a public string get feature description. Okay, because that is what's in our config, a feature flag and a feature description. Now archaius is going to implement this interface for us. We don't have to worry about the implementation at all, and it knows from the method names exactly what properties we need. See here, feature flag is going to know that we got a feature flag in our properties, and feature description same again. So literally all we need to do now is get the ConfigProxyFactory to implement it for us. So proxy config proxy is equal to new ConfigProxyFactory, and that takes 3 arguments. There are two other constructors in there that are deprecated, so we'll use the one that takes 3 arguments. The first argument is going to be a config. The second argument is going to be a decoder, and we're going to leave that null for now, and I'll get back to that in a minute. And a third argument is going to be our factory. Okay, and then we're going to create a new proxy, and it's going to be a type proxy config.class. Let's import that. Okay, and there we can literally just use the proxy object to actually get our config. Get feature flag and proxy.get feature description. Okay, if I run that, there it is. It's got it for us. So as you can see there, the application's just got this app.java and proxy config. There's no implementation for this proxy config. Archaius does that itself, very much the same way that Spring will do it. But I don't know the ins and outs of the actual what's going on under the hood. But yeah, you don't need to actually implement it yourself. What we can do in this is give them default values. Okay, so let's just default this to false, and this, let's just default it to blah annotation. Let's import those. Now when I run it again, oops, when I run it again, you're going to see an error. Okay, a null pointer exception, and the reason for that is it's detected a default annotation and it's tried to decode those strings into the correct types. Like it's tried to decode this false into a boolean, and it hasn't been able to do that because we haven't given it a decoder. So we're going to use the default decoder. Default decoder.instance, and that basically just decodes strings into relevant types like float or big integer or date time, whatever. See, author Spencer Gibb, you'll if you got any questions on Spring Cloud, you'll come to realize Spencer Gibb is the main man. Okay, so when we run this again, it'll behave as before, false and blah. But if we delete both of these configs, or rather comment them out, it'll default back to our annotation values. You see that? It will go back to the annotation, and we go false and blah annotation. This subscriber here hasn't picked up that we've changed it to the default annotation value. I'm not sure why that is. Maybe that's a bug. I'm not too sure. But there we go. Okay, and And not only that, but if we go back to the actual interface, we can give them a property name. Property name, name equals, let's just say some.very.long.config.name. Some very long config name. Perhaps you want to keep your interface nice and clean, nice and small, your method names. So if you've got something like this, you might want to give it an annotation so you can, you know, have something very long, just condense it to something very short. But for that to work, we're going to have to add in our actual config that has that. So if we just paste it in, equals true, or equals on. We can use on instead of true. And we'll see that that change is now to true. There we go, true. Okay. Easy. Another feature, we can use this configuration annotation, not to be confused with the Spring Boot config annotation. It is different. It is a Netflix archaius specific configuration annotation. We can give our configs a prefix, and let's just give it a prefix of proxy. And if we go back into our config properties, we'll add a proxy prefix to this one. How about actually we change this property name to the description instead? Okay, and we're adding a proxy to that, and we're going to change this to something else is going to be our config. And when we run it, there we go, something else. See, we got our property name there, and we've prefixed it with proxy. And there we go, proxy.sum.very.long.config.name equals something else. And there it is. And if we, again, comment this out, what do we get? We get back to the blah annotation. And there we go. So this is quite an elegant solution. You don't have to use the factory anywhere in your code. You can literally, if you're using Spring, in another video I'll go through to auto-wiring this in Spring and Google Juice. So if you're using Spring, it'll be easy to just auto-wire this, create a bean that outputs a new proxy, and then you can auto-wire this proxy config anywhere else in your Spring config. Okay, so that's just a quick video on ConfigProxyFactory. Thanks for watching.